Alright guys, I am back with my review of this week's episode of Dexter, Season 7, Episode 4, Run. And this was a really good episode. I really liked this one a lot. However, it started off a little bit strange with Deborah being in a bathtub and having this weird nightmare about Dexter, I guess. And he's standing in the hallway saying, "Will you be mine?" It was just really cheesy. I was like, what the hell is this? And then the bathtub fills up with blood and she wakes up. So that was pretty lame, I have to say. But the next day she asked Dexter about Rita and Trinity, and I thought this was pretty cool how he's just talking about it out in the open after all these seasons of him trying to keep it a secret. And they're talking about this, and she asks, did he even really love Rita? Does he love her? Because she thinks he's incapable of this because he's a serial killer. And Dexter says, "I do love you." But then she gets a call that Speltzer has been picked up. So yes, the guy who dressed as a bull has already been arrested. And it cuts over to the mob guys, and they think Dexter killed Victor for revenge for Mike's death. However, Quinn shows up to the strip club and starts harassing them like they've been doing, and they're trying to figure out why the police would continue to harass them if they know Victor's dead. So now they think Dexter killed him and is covering it up for some reason. So, back at the police station, Deborah interrogates Speltzer, and this was a very intense scene, I thought. But he eventually does confess. He says, "I should have killed you like I killed that girl," and so there's their confession. They're happy. They think they've got Speltzer. And Deborah tells Dexter that he got Rita killed because he's so selfish, and he should send Harrison to go live with his grandparents. And Dexter is offended by this, and she says, as long as you're still out there killing people, you're just going to bring more bad stuff onto you, and it's only going to affect Harrison. And Dexter refuses to give up his son, and he leaves, so they're kind of butting heads on this. And then we see the mob guys who go to see this guy Alex, who's the bartender at the strip club. This poor guy. Oh my god, I felt so bad. This was very disturbing. He's got these two young kids, and he's talking about how he sends money home to them, and they basically want him to kill himself. They have him write a suicide note and kill himself with Victor's gun so that the police have a suspect and they'll quit coming to the strip club and harassing them and costing them money. And he does it. They basically said that if you don't do it, we're going to kill you anyway, and then we'll kill your family. So this way we'll send your family a lot of money, and they'll be taken care of for the rest of their lives. All you gotta do is kill yourself. And I'm thinking, man, this guy, he was sitting at home watching television, and this just ruined his night. It's like, why did you have to come here, man? Everything was fine, and then he's going to be dead in about 3 minutes. Like, that's how fast this all happened. So I really felt bad for this Alex character. Hannah McKay stops by the station to see if she can help find some of the missing bodies, and she talks to Dexter for a little while. And then we find out that Speltzer is free and he's suing the police department. LaGuerta has this DVD of the cops bringing him in, and it shows it shows Speltzer push one of the cops, and then the rest just beat the crap out of him with the sticks. And they're watching this, and Batista's like, "So what's the problem?" And I'm thinking at first, okay, police brutality, clearly. But no, that's not the problem. The problem is they read him his rights, but he was unconscious. So he couldn't really agree that he understood his rights. So they had to let him go. Quinn gets a text that the bartender of the strip club shot himself, so they go to check it out. And Dexter knows Victor was the killer, so he knows something's up. And Batista feels that something's up too. He doesn't believe this. He thinks it's a setup. Dexter goes to spy on Speltzer. He goes into his trailer at the cemetery, and he finds his trophies. But Speltzer comes back and catches him, and the two of them fight, and Dexter ends up getting knocked out. And Dexter wakes up in this weird building, and he finds a note that just says "run." So he starts walking around. He's like, "I don't run. I'm not going to run from anyone." And then he sees Speltzer wearing the bull mask and carrying an axe, and he has to run. He's got no choice. So he's running through this maze, and he comes into this room with mannequins all over the place. And he's looking around, and some of them have bull mask on. He's like trying to find Speltzer, and I'm thinking, just knock the damn mannequins down so it's easier to see. And even after they fight, he gets up and he's still looking around. Start knocking things over. That way you can see this gigantic guy wearing a bull mask. But of course he leaves, and he actually escapes to the roof and gets out of the building. So he's free now, but Speltzer knows what he looks like. So Dexter sends Harrison to his grandparents for a few weeks while he deals with Speltzer. And we see that Victor was actually Isaac's son, which is why he wants his killer so bad. So that's a reason Isaac is going to be a huge villain. And Deborah sees Speltzer at the dead girl's funeral, and she goes off on him, and he says he will see her later. Dexter goes back to the cemetery, and Speltzer starts chasing him around, and Speltzer finds a note that says stay, and Dexter hits him in the head with a shovel. So Speltzer wakes up on Dexter's table, and Dexter says he's not taking blood slides anymore. He kills Speltzer and then cremates his body along with all of his blood slides. He's done collecting trophies because he can't have it get back to him that someone finds another blood slide. So Speltzer's gone, and I was kind of disappointed by this. I really thought they would do a lot more with this guy. I mean, go after Deborah, something, like build up some suspense. He knows what Dexter looks like. He's stalking Deborah. He wants to kill her. But no, in one episode he's killed. And it just happened so fast, and I feel like they kind of missed a lot of potential with this guy and things they could do with him. I know they want to wrap the show up by next year, but I still think they could have squeezed out a little bit more with this. Same thing with the Lewis situation. So I was disappointed by that. And Deborah shows up, picks Dexter up, and says that she actually feels glad Speltzer's dead. So maybe she's starting to come around to Dexter's mindset a little bit. And that was it. That's how the episode ended. So I did enjoy this week's episode. It just, the fact that Speltzer's already dead was kind of a disappointment, but things really seem to be picking up with the whole Isaac and the mob people, and it's going to be very interesting. So I'm looking forward to next week's episode too, as always, and that's my review of this week's episode. Hope you guys liked this video. Leave your thoughts on this week's episode in the comments below, and thanks for watching.